Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your match day preview. A little bit different this week because I'm, because it's a Tuesday night game, to be brutally honest. So we're doing a match day preview for you here on the Monday. It's not live, it's a video. So we definitely need your help and support on this video. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button, leave your lovely comments, whatever they might be. Let YouTube know that you're interacting with this video and the algorithm picks it up and sends it wherever it needs to be sent. Obviously, with video, it's much different to live. So we do appreciate and need your support. As always, we hit a like target 150. Let's go for that this week or today. And as always, if you're brand new, hit the subscribe. So Southampton tomorrow night. They're not firing on all cylinders. Town are 5 wins in 6. Is this a great opportunity for Town to go to St Mary's and record a win? And would it be called a scalp? Obviously, ex-Premier League side Southampton. It would be one of those wins that perhaps is a coupon buster or you hadn't picked out at the start of the year. Who knows? But joining me this evening are the just wonderful duo, much loved across every forum on the internet. It is, of course...
Somebody get the tables. Hard Truth are here, delivering the truth that nobody wants to hear. The Cruncher and the Media Mogul.
Forum Kings, that's what I call you.
Loved across the internet.
Much loved. Much loved. Anyway, Southampton...
It radiates.
Like magnets. Boys. Listen, Southampton on the horizon. Rich, you had a great stat before we went live. How many goals they shipped?
I think they've let in 16, but they've let 4 in twice at home to Norwich and Leicester, and also 5 at Sunderland. -5 goal difference.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. It's a crazy time. And I was saying at the start of the show there, Matt, is it a great time to be playing them? Is this the time to really go there?
Hold on a minute. We've said this about Leeds. That turned out to be a terrible time to play because, Gionto came back, didn't he? And Sinistera played before he went to Bournemouth and all that kind of stuff. And Pereira made his debut. Again, we've got to be careful of the old wounded animal syndrome, haven't we? We all thought we'd kind of rock up at QPR a little bit, and that turned out to be a very difficult game. And I would imagine this turned out to be a difficult game. They've still got Shea Adams, Adam Armstrong up top, and a smattering of Premier League players. Have lost a lot of players, haven't they? I was looking at this when we've just finished at Sheffield Wednesday, and they obviously started opened their season there. And of course, they had that Teller there in that side and scored, I think, that night. And James Ward-Prowse. I mean, they're 2 massive misses. They've lost both of those, sold both, haven't they? So there's been a bit. They have sold some of the family silver, haven't they? So I guess they might be recovering from, such pivotal players leaving. But I think it'll be a tough game regardless of what form they're in.
I called it a scalp. If we can go there and win, Rich, do you think we can do that? Do you think this is a game that Town can definitely win? An ex-Premier League side, obviously. You wouldn't have had it down maybe in the summer as a win, but is it there now?
I think it was Alex Maffey on Suffolk on Saturday after the game saying, definitely won't be 0-0. Well, I mean, you've just given it the kiss of death there, Alex. You wouldn't think it's going to be, would you? Town pretty free scoring. Southampton, look, I know they're shipping goals, but like Matt says, you got Shea Adam, you got Armstrong, you got players there who've scored goals at a higher level. So I think it's one of them games where you just got to be a little bit wary. I think you look at it and think, oh yeah, Town, look, they're struggling, we're flying. Still, if you said to me now, you could have a point, as Mick used to say, what he used to say, wouldn't even get on the bus.
You wouldn't even get on the bus.
Absolutely. So look, if you took a point from Southampton, 3 at Hillsborough, 4 points over the 2 games, I think that's excellent. But look, it's a game that I think we can attack, but just be a little bit wary because these teams have still got some very, very good players and they can hurt you. So it's just a case of going there. And we've got nothing to fear. With 5 wins out of 6, I think, Matt, with the win at Wednesday on Saturday, I think this is a bit of a free hit for Town. I really do.
Because you've already got 3 points on the road.
Yeah.
And of course, if you drew both away games, it'd only yield 2 points. We've got 3 already. It's a very good point. I think the mad stat for Southampton is, the team that's come down from the Premier League, is in the 5-0 defeat and the 4-1 to Leicester, they've conceded in both games inside the first 60 seconds in both.
There you go. Fast start needed then from Town.
I mean, bloody hell, you wouldn't expect that from a team in the Premier League, would you? Coming down a division. And I mean, what is the focus not there?
Something one of you said in the summer was quite interesting. You said it would take a while for Russell Martin to really put his. Is that what you're saying?
I said to you, I think I said to you last night, Matt, on the phone. I think he's massively overrated, Russell Martin.
We did
I
say
think
that, didn't we?
he comes with a big reputation for someone who's really achieved zero. And you look at our manager, like you said, Matt, he would have been a good pick for Southampton, a team that just come down from the Premier League. And they've gone for Russell Martin. Look, he's implementing that new style. But if you watch it Friday, Martin and Matt, I mean, the first 2 goals they give away, it was car crash. They were in possession. They had the kickoff, Matt, against Leicester. They had the kickoff. 22 seconds later, the ball is in their net. I mean, you got our friend Bazuma in goal, obviously, Bacauley Bon.
When he was at Pompey.
From Pompey. So, listen, there's holes there that we can exploit. But they're still got some good players when you look at them going the other way. So,
just looking at so they've got Kyle Walker-Peters, who I think was Spurs. That Hartwood Bellis is on loan, I think, from Man City. They obviously had Flynn starting the game, didn't they? Our old friend Flynn. I don't know if he's going to be around for this one. Ryan Fraser, ex-Town loanee.
Ooh, Ryan Fraser.
That's Samuel Edozie, I think, is a very good player, very good creative player. And then you've got Shay Adams and Adam Armstrong up top. I mean, Shay Adams was being linked to Everton before they got Beto in from Udinese. So, I mean, listen, got some decent players. For whatever reason, Martin has not been able to get a tune out of them. And, conceding 9 in 2 games is like unforgivable, really, for a Premier League team coming down to the Championship.
Yeah, and they want to get that focus.
Imagine they'd be scoring them goals, look.
Yeah, sorry, you cut out on me. Sorry, but you'll think they wanted that focus to start the game, and that's something that Russell and Matt Gill.
Matt Gill's there.
Yeah, Matt Gill's there. See him on Friday on the line. Give it Gilly to end the season. He still
give it Gilly.
Still won them 3 games. That was him won them 3 games on the spin, not Lambert.
Of course it was.
Martin's favourite caretaker manager of all time.
I'd have had him. Joining us very shortly is Martin Saunders, Southampton FC podcaster and social media broadcaster. This is the first time we have played not the first time, but the first time in the league we have played Southampton since 2012. The head-to-head, gentlemen.
Cup, wasn't it, Martin? FA Cup when we went down there.
Yeah, we did play the FA Cup and we lost.
5,500 down there, Matt. I remember going to that game on the Sunday.
Yeah.
Darren Ambrose.
What a great header it was. Tyrone Mings cross.
Yeah. It was a great header. But overall, Southampton have won 23, Town have won 25, and there's been 20 games drawn overall between the 2 clubs. Now, this is the team on the 6th of March 2012. Paul Jewell is in charge. Can anyone tell me what the score might have been?
Where is it at?
St Mary's.
It's got to be a defeat, surely.
Paul Jewell's in charge. It was the year they ended up finishing high up the table, and we finished mid-table. No surprise. They finished second, got promoted. We finished 15. But at St Mary's, it was what, Mr. Moss?
2-1 Southampton?
Nope.
Who was up front for Town that day?
Well, I'll get to the team in a second. The goal scorer for us, we did score, was Jason Scotland. Ricky Lambert scored for them. It was 1-1.
Jason Scotland.
That was 1-1, was it? Was it really?
1-1.
Jason Scotland.
We scored in the 85th minute after they scored in the 74th. This was the team, in no particular order. Michael Chopra, Aaron Cresswell, Damien Delaney, Andy Drury, Carlos Edwards, J. Emmanuel Thomas, Tommy Smith, Grant Ledbetter, Lee Martin, Alex McCarthy, and Daryl Murphy. What are your thoughts?
McCarthy was in the sticks.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that team, Rich? There's some big characters in there.
I quite like it.
We had some good players back then, didn't we? Yeah. We didn't really achieve anything.
Nothing.
Some good names, though, didn't we? Jet, I've said it on this show before. Jet, if he could have just been 1 or 2% better, he could have played for England.
Obviously, that was the season. That was the season, Matt. Then when we lost 5-2 to them at home in one of the early games.
Yeah, so Adkins is manager of Southampton at this point. Then, yeah, the floodlight game.
Yep.
What was the Southampton team, Martin?
Kelvin Davis.
Oh,
Hammond, Dan Harding, Jan Hoyveld, Adam Lallana, Ricky Lambert, Lee, Fraser Richardson, Morgan Schneiderlin, Jose Fonte, and Gully.
Good team. Because see what they got promoted. Whenever I think of Jason Scotland, I always think of Henry Winter when I think he was at the Telegraph at the time. He'd come to watch Ipswich. Maybe it was this game, and he said the 5-2 game, and he said once where Ipswich had Brazil, they now have Scotland. I thought that encompasses everything. That's compare shades about our club.
You say that. Interesting you say about Brazil because obviously he scored all 5.
Yes.
Against Southampton.
A 5-2. That was 5-2 as well.
Yeah,
He did.
Yeah.
And the 3 players
Under
off the
lights.
bench that day were Lee Bowyer, Jason Scotland, and Ryan Stevenson.
Ryan Stevenson.
Ryan
Heavily
Stevenson.
tattooed. Very heavily tattooed, I seem to recall.
I see him score I think that season, it was the last game of the season at Doncaster, I think he played. Scored an absolute screamer.
We signed him out of Scotland, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hearts.
Hearts? Yeah.
Mm.
It's in the
There you
memory
go.
bank somewhere.
I always liked Andy Drury, you know. I always thought he was a good little midfield player.
Did he go on to Luton after us?
Yeah, I think he went to Luton.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. And he came from Luton, didn't he?
I think so,
Did
yeah.
we sign him from Luton? We signed him out of the non-league, didn't we? All Stevenage?
Yeah. He's up there with Anthony Wordsworth for me. Poetry in motion.
Well, that's worth it. He was a good player.
I just like Anthony Wordsworth. Yeah.
I always liked Anthony Wordsworth. But that's the team. Very different now for Ipswich.
Yeah.
Although you've got some of the riches then that obviously you've got now.
Yeah.
Do you expect any changes for tomorrow night?
Well, I mean, look, we're going to be forced into what we think is going to be a left-back change. Most likely going to be Brandon Williams coming in, isn't it, Rich? I think, you know, he completed the second half against Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday, and it's tailor-made for him to come in and make an impact. Now we think, you know, whilst recording this, we don't know what's wrong with Davis or how long he's going to be out for, but it seems Williams will start for certain.
Rich, would you play Jack Taylor in midfield? Come on, I know on Sunday's show you said no, but come on.
No, not going Jack Taylor. I think another change. I think George Hurst comes in up front for Freddie. Obviously, he came off the bench on Saturday at Hillsborough. I think that's probably a sensible move, not playing him there after what happened sort of with when he played against Cardiff, and then he sort of got injured after about half an hour, and then he's got the 2-week break, so obviously he's got fit, looked quite sharp, could have had a goal. I'd expect him to come in. I don't think there'll be many other changes. I think your defence, like centre back, stays the same. Harry Clark had a good game.
Nailed on, yeah.
Wes, they said he had a bit of a tight hamstring. Kieran said when he came off, that could be a potential. You could play Caden Jackson, but if Wes is fit, I think Wes is plays, and I think his pace is key against it. If you watched the game the other night, the time and time again, and I think when you look at that game, Matt and Martin, and it was 4-1. They got away massively with 4 goals. Leicester could have had 7, 8. It could have been a 9. You remember when they beat 9-0 the other
day? There before.
They had loads of chances. I mean, they were at the back. Look, obviously he's got problems there, Russell Martin, and can he rectify it in a couple of 3 days? He actually thought that they played quite well the other night. I don't know what game.
He was going to say that in the press, isn't he? But we'll come to our score predictions after we've heard from this wonderful gentleman, Martin Saunders, Southampton FC podcaster and social media broadcast. He's tweeted 2 hours ago, which I'm going to read. This is obviously recorded on a Sunday, but he said, I really do worry about Tuesday night. The fact confidence will be so low and the manager wanting to play out from the back, you really will need a plan B. Surely, I can't see how they play the same way. A better start is an absolute must, Mr. Martin. How are you?
I'm okay. Just about got over Friday night, but what a horrific night at St Mary's. It was terrible.
Yeah, and you had a few of those, to be fair. So
yeah, we've had the last 2 games we've conceded 9 goals in 2 games. We conceded 16 in 6. Unfortunately, football's a results-driven business, and already we have a manager under pressure. We have a tough game with you guys coming down on Tuesday night. You'll be relishing playing us right now. Confidence is at an all-time low. Very, very young squad of players. 2 centre-halves that played the other night. Their confidence will be shattered. Shay Charles and Hayward Bellis both had a pretty torrid time, but the team set up so badly. They look poorly coached at the moment. Really? I don't think talking to people in the game, I'm not sure he has the players that he requires to do what he wants to do. And the players that he's got don't really want to play the way he wants to play. It was clear to see.
You wouldn't have heard it, but earlier in the show, Rich called Russell Martin massively overrated, that man there. Yeah. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think he's all about, talks about stats. I was quite impressed with what he said.
I'm a bit biased, Mike, because he did used to play for Norwich.
Well, of course you are. But it's a fair point, you know. I mean, it's not gone as well as he would have wanted, and it's hard implementing that system, though, isn't it, Martin? Really?
Yeah, and he's got some good players there. I think he's got quite a good group of players, really. He's managed to keep hold of Carl Walker-Peters, who I think is a fantastic right back. He should be playing in the Premier League. He's kept hold of Shay Adams. He's got Tilamana as well, the winger, but he doesn't like wingers to go past people. This is a boy that wants to run at defenders and use pace. They brought Ryan Fraser in. He's a player that wants to run at people. Russell Martin doesn't want wingers that run at people. So I just think it's a mismatch of manager and players, and it's panning out that way. I'm alarmed at some of the goals we were conceding the other night. You guys would have watched it, and that fourth goal summed up everything about us right now. It was 0-0-10, the setup. You pretty much had 10 of our players in the final third of the field. It was embarrassing, really. We're at this moment in time, we're probably the laughing stock of that division at the moment, and we're playing one of the teams that have come up and done similar to what we did when we come from League One many years ago. Got winning mentality, good manager, hard to beat, good team spirit, good spine of the team. I think we're in for a really, really tough day Tuesday night.
Why's it gone a bit pear-shaped in mine? Because the only other 90 minutes I saw of you, I saw the Leicester game, was when you went to Sheffield Wednesday on the opening night, that Friday night. And I know you had Ward-Prowse and you still had Teller. Obviously, they've both gone for big fees. But you looked a decent side. And, Adams comes off the bench, doesn't he, and scores the winner. That Adozie Upper was a really bright-looking player, real good talent, him. Yeah. So I can't see, in the space of time where we've played, 6-7 games, you've gone from that performance to what I saw Friday.
Yeah, we started quite well against Sheffield Wednesday. We had a really good first half. The following game was at home to Norwich, and it was just end to end 4-4. We could have lost the game easily. They had so many chances to bury it. They just weren't really quite clinical enough to finish the game off. We then went to Plymouth, newly promoted side, just about got away with it there. I thought we did okay, didn't play outstanding. And then the home game against QPR would be pretty, they'd be disappointed not to walk away without the 3 points. I worked for Asmir Begovic, the goalkeeper, randomly of all things. And even we spoke many times since, and he was like, we were really disappointed not to walk away with 3 points because he felt that they had the chances to snatch it, but they weren't clinical that day. But we got carved open against a side that would probably struggle against relegation. And then going to Sunderland like we did and playing like that, there was a lot of damage done that day. I think there was a lot of damage done. Confidence is at an all-time low now. Yeah,
it does seem it, and obviously you're adjusting to life in the Championship, which is a very tough league in its own. Its own right. Is it that along with the style implementation? You mentioned in your tweet there, Martin, about a plan B. Did managers like Russell Martin really know a plan B?
No, I don't think he does have a plan B. It's pretty evident the other night that they continue to do the same thing. They're making so many mistakes, sort of in possession of the ball. But the one thing that I find a bit alarming is that people don't want to put a foot in. There's not a bit, in midfield. Sometimes you just got to get a foot in and show a bit of willingness to get back if you lose the ball and a bit of fight. And he didn't have that the other night, but he won't change his ways. I think the Swansea fans have all warned us that he won't change his ways, that he continue to do the same thing. But I think when you've conceded 9 goals in 2 games and confidence is low and you've got a young group of players, a young goalkeeper that's struggled with confidence, the fans are on his back, 2 young centre-halves under 20 years old, I think it's a recipe for disaster. And and that's what our owners have done. Our owners have been so adamant to buy young players and not experience. You look at Leicester the other night, they had Harry Winks in midfield, Yannick Vestergaard at the back, Jamie Vardy. They'll win the league. I honestly think they'll win the league. Is it Mavadidi, the guy on the left side for them? Oh my God. If you have players that want to hug the touchlines against us, we're easy to play against because the fullbacks tuck in and you just go in behind. How he went from the Sunderland game to the Leicester game and not learnt the lessons, I find it alarming. Maybe the international break caused us issues, but everyone keeps saying on Twitter, you've got to remain patient. It's early in the season, I know, but I think as a football fan, you have to start asking questions when your side have conceded 16 goals in 6 games.
Yeah. Was he the first choice in mine? Was he first choice for Southampton's board, or were there other names in the mix?
Maresca was on the list, apparently.
Yeah,
they wanted. I think they spoke to him and he didn't fancy it. And obviously chose Leicester, but I think he was one of their top names. Obviously, they paid a lot of compensation to get him here. They've given him a 3-year contract like they did Nathan Jones. So I don't see him going anywhere anytime soon. And look, I don't want to hit the panic buttons because we've only played 6 games, but I just think the manner of the way we're playing is a little bit alarming. And if you could come to St Mary's, which is a place we don't win games, we struggle at St Mary's. In the last 12 months, we've won 3 home league games.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been Chelsea last August, Leicester in March, and QPR a couple of weeks ago. That's the only league wins we've had.
Has it all gone pear-shaped since Hasenhüttl left?
Since Sport Republic come in, really, the new ownership is... And then once Hasenhüttl went, he lost his way a bit end of last season. And then just the decisions made last summer were poor in the way they recruited players. They went for this young philosophy of young players and didn't get enough experience, and they got found out quite quickly. And then Nathan Jones took them backwards, and the damage was done over 3 months, and you were never going to recover after that World Cup break. It was just too much damage done, and it was just an uphill battle. But sometimes you need an experienced manager that's used to getting teams promoted, don't you? You could say that Maresca hasn't done that until now, but he's worked under one of the best managers in the world.
Yes.
And that's why they're doing what they're doing. But Leicester were good the other night, I've got to say.
I don't like all this negativity, Martin. I don't like this. This is dangerous because
it's a trap game, isn't it? Now I'm thinking this we could rock up here and do well, but all right. People are going to be worried at home about, you've got some good players. Mentioned them.
Got some really good players, yeah.
Yeah. What's the strengths of the Southampton? You mentioned the weaknesses and how it's gone a bit pear-shaped. What's the strengths? Who have Town got to really look out for and hope we can stop from playing to really achieve anything out of this game?
Well, up until Sunderland's, Adam Armstrong had looked fairly decent. He looked like a man that was going to start to score goals in the division. Looked like he found his level again. He's been given the captain's armband since Jack Stevens got injured. So it was interesting to see that he's obviously fond. He's very fond of him as a player. So he's a first name on the team sheet. Mm-hmm. I would have said Silamana, but he got sent off the other night, so he won't be available.
Oh, good.
You spoke about Samuel Dozie, young winger. I think he picked up a knock the other night as well. He come off, but he's been really good. He's a good player. Ryan Fraser started quite well for us. He's a wide man. You probably know all about him. You've seen him at Bournemouth and Newcastle.
And Ipswich.
Was he Ipswich? Was he?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Yeah. So he's not a bad player, but like Sparks at the minute, young Shay Charles that played centre half the other night is more of a midfielder. He's a really good player on the ball. I don't think he's necessarily a centre half, but he's a really, really good central midfielder. I would have said Carl Walker-Peters, but he had a mare like the other night.
Where's he been playing Armstrong? Where was he playing the other night?
Trying to play him as an 8, I think.
Yeah, that's what
it doesn't work. Him and Adams don't work together. You need somebody with a bit of pace to work in and around him. And if he wants him to play deep like he is, it's just, I don't know. I'm not massively convinced by Adam Armstrong as a player, but he's just not settled here since he moved. And
we got interested in the summer.
Is it? I thought he probably needed a fresh start and go and play somewhere else personally, but he could score goals in this division. Him and Adams should be scoring a bucket load of goals, but Shay Adams didn't. Shay Adams, I'm not sure if he really wants to be there. He obviously was desperate to get a move in the window. It didn't materialise. I think the club blocked a move to Wolves, and because they brought Ross Stewart in, and Ross Stewart's going to be injured. He's still injured.
Everton as well, I think mine he was linked to.
Yeah, I was surprised that Everton wanted him, seeing they want some goals. He doesn't score a lot of Premier League goals. That's the one thing about Shay Adams.
This is the problem, though. This is the problem, isn't it, guys? When you've got a team coming down, and like you say, Martin, you've got a new manager coming in.
Yeah.
And you've got a lot of the players. They're having their agents in their ear, wanting them to leave. And I suppose now he's got the windows closed, so he knows who's he's got till January. But like you say, Shay Adams was hoping he was going to get a move, so he could be still.
His body language wasn't. His body language was okay. Yeah. There's another lad, if he starts, which I think he might play against you, to look out for as a midfielder that he can play in the 8, is a lad called Carlos Alcaraz. He's very in and out. He's lost a bit of confidence at the minute, but I just think that he'll come back into the side, I would think, on Tuesday night. I think he's a player that probably should be in the starting 11 because he's got a little bit of spark about him. But like defensively, he's got to sort that out really quickly. You don't have a lot of time between the games, do you? That's the problem in this division. It's play, not a massive opportunity to train. And maybe that international break, I always said it was come at the wrong time for us after a 5-0 drubbing. because you don't get that opportunity to work with the players.
Sit
You
on
could
it.
say they didn't get back in time, and there isn't time to kind of go over it. But
Mm.
I'm not panicking, but
You're
I'm not
reaching for it.
frustrated.
You're just finding out where it is.
I'm just starting to ask questions, and I think there's a lot of fans down here that want him out already, which is unbelievable. I think it's early to call for a manager's head.
You've not been able to see the best of Flynn either, have you? He makes his debut in I think the 5-0, and then he got injured the other night. What's the latest on his injury then, Martin, with Flynn Downs?
I'm not sure how bad it is. We'll probably find out in the presser tomorrow. If there's a presser tomorrow, I think there will be. He struggled the other night. He looked lost in midfield alongside Smallbone.
Yeah.
They need somebody. They were just so open because it just ends up on his own all the time. And just like Winks and their other midfielder, I can't think of his name. Is it Indeed? I can't think of who it was that played in midfield with him. It just they battered us in midfield.
Just overrun you.
They just
Dewsbury Hall, indeed. Winks.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, they were good. Dewsbury Hall had the pass that he made for the second goal was just had too much time on the ball. And if you give people like him time on the ball, he's going to cause some problems. And from a Southampton's perspective, obviously I've watched a fair bit of Ipswich. Who should we be looking out for? Obviously, Connor Chaplin's an ex-Portsmouth player. I have my odds on him scoring against us.
Well, Saturday.
He started well, hasn't he? Who should we look out for?
I think Martin said there about the way that Southampton set up, guys. I think this is tailor-made for Wes Burns. Pacing behind.
The
other night, he's got pace to burn. And Sheffield Wednesday yesterday, Matt, how they played, and we played on that right-hand side. So I think he's got a real big key to play in this game. I really do.
I don't know if you've seen Sheffield Wednesday since your game, Martin, but they were terrible against us Saturday. Absolutely terrible. And they didn't have Barry Bannon either. So they didn't have that kind of playmaker to put a pass together.
He's their best player, isn't he? But Barry Bannon.
Oh, they look nailed on to finish bottom of the table.
Yeah. Could you have had a lot more goals? Could you score more goals?
Should have done. Yeah. I mean, we said in our podcast Sunday that, it was what did you say, Rich? 1-0 battering?
It was a comprehensive 1-0 win, Martin, as you're going to see. I know that's a strange thing to say, but they had 5 shots, 0 on target, and a goalie could have sat in a deck chair with his Bermuda shorts on all game.
You've had a wonderful start, but the football they play under McKenna is impressive. To come up and to keep the momentum going has been incredible. You must be like to see it sat where you are in the division. You must be
dreamland.
It come in the final third of the season last season, right? We scored nearly 50 goals in the final third. And then you ask questions of whether, like you probably did when you went up under Adkins, can we carry this on into the championship? And, first couple of months we have done. But I think Chaplin will be pivotal against you. And as Rich rightly says, the pace of Burns. Broadhead.
Yeah, again, Broadhead looks really good, doesn't he?
Got for a snip from Everton, 1.5 mil. It looks like worth 10 times that at the moment.
I think George Hurst as well. Sorry, Martin. I think George Hurst, if you've got 2 young centre backs who are a bit short on confidence, he will chase everything. There's no 50-50 in George.
Great, isn't it? We're going to have 2 ex-Pompey players.
Yeah. It's just, I think he could be really pivotal against 2 young centre halves, Martin. I really do.
Yeah, I think it'd be a really interesting game, really. It'd be whether Martin will set up and just try and keep it a bit tighter for the first 20 minutes, just letting goals in 23 seconds of the night. You just can't let goals in like that. We're 2-0 down at home.
Well,
2-0 down at home inside 20 minutes. When we got the goal back, I thought, here we go. Let's just see this out to half time. Let's be professional enough. You've got 6 players on the field, I think, that were in the Premier League last year. You just need to see it out. And they couldn't even do that. It was so naive. Just keep chucking your fullback so far up the field. Ryan Manning, he's come in. He's had a nightmare since he signed for us. He just plays so high up the field and in this inverted role. It just looks like it just doesn't work.
And you had people leaving the stadium after about 67 minutes. I mean, that's normally kind of, not that you're going to be in that space, but that's normally like relegation. We had that under, Paul Hurst.
Where I sat the other night, there was people that left at half time and never come back.
Wow.
3 people next to me never come back. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Score prediction then, Martin, before I let you go and enjoy the rest of your Sunday as we record this. What's your score prediction going to be?
I don't see anything other than us getting beaten. I think it'd be 3. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 3-4-1 to you guys. I think it'd at least be 3-1. I feel that disillusioned after what I've seen in the last 2 games. I don't see him turning it around quick enough. I think we'll lose. Yeah, I think we'll lose.
Okay. Any other questions for Martin?
We can't let Martin go on such a downer. You have got a fantastic kit. You've got it behind you, haven't you?
Oh, it's
Denmark,
a beauty, isn't it?
Denmark
Yeah.
86 vibes from Mexico World Cup. That's a
Yeah.
great strip.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a beautiful shirt. Actually, I really like it. Like the away one as well is really nice. They've done amazing with the kits actually this year.
Yeah.
I just hope that we can start seeing some proper performances. And just all I want to see from a football fan is a bit of fight and a bit of commitment. And that's all you ask for of your team. And when I'm paying good money to go and watch it and I don't see it, I find it infuriating.
The table, though, I know you watch them every week. You are ninth. You are on 10 points. You are only 5 points behind us in third. So if you get a victory against us, 2 points. So it can soon change around.
It can turn around quickly, can't it? I just think Leicester was the first big test for us as a side to play against. Sunderland, you could have said at the time they'd had a bit of a tricky start. But I always thought it'd be interesting to see the matchup between two sides that got relegated that both want automatic promotion. Like the next few fixtures, we play yourselves with the head to Middlesbrough Saturday, and then we're back at home to Leeds United, who look really good today. I thought they were superb. I thought they were superb. A striker they brought in that we were linked with, he's fit, he's ready to go, and he's scoring goals, and he'll fire him up the league.
When's Ross Stewart going to be fit, Martin?
It could be in it, but he's not played for 6 months apparently. The injury's pretty nasty. It could be another few weeks. They say. I don't think we'll see anything of him during October. I just think
decent money for him, haven't you? Decent wage.
It's a lot of money for somebody that you won't see for a while, isn't it? When you want automatic promotion to the Premier League, you want your goals instantly right now, and that's the only reason Shea Adams stayed, I believe, because they know that he's going to be a little bit longer than they may be letting on.
Perfect.
Sorry, I've been so negative.
No, absolutely.
I feel like I've been really negative. But
you're perfectly great. Thanks for dropping.
I've been honest. I've been totally honest. I'm 41 years old. I've watched football for a long time. Yeah, just be
Martin,
honest.
that's what his platform's all about. Honesty and opinions, whatever.
It's a great show.
Be, so.
Best show I've been on for a long time. Really professional. So
thanks very much.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Enjoy the rest of your day and look after
yourself. Martin, all the best.
Have a great season starting Saturday. All right.
Thank you.
Look after yourself. Bye-bye.
What
do you make of that then, gentlemen? I mean, I wasn't quite expecting that, but I'm quite happy. I'm quite excited.
I suppose to be expected when you're letting 9 over 2 games and 4 of them were at home. It's interesting, isn't it? We would normally have said, on the back of that run of games, Rich, and along come Ipswich, the notorious Patsy.
Yeah, don't say
but
that.
we seem to have had that, under McKenna and this squad of players, we seem to have had a little shift there.
Isn't it great to hear other fans of other clubs saying like how impressed they are with us? And
it's great, yeah.
It's sexy, isn't it? It's sexy.
It's good. We've made impact in League One with that, the 100 goals and everything. We've done exactly what they did a few years back and gone back up, and we're showing it in the Championship. Where it's good.
Yeah, you heard Martin's score prediction. They've got some injury worries, which you never want to see players injured, but certainly as a Town fan, you think, if they've got a couple of knocks, it's going to help you and really allow you to put your footprint, your blueprint on the game, as it were. But what's our score prediction going to be? Martin was very. Can't see Southampton winning 3-1, 4-1. I think he mentioned.
Wow, I'll be bouncing all the way home if that happens.
Yeah.
Tell you what, if they go there and win 3-1, I'll be kicking myself. I'm down the road and not gone. It'd be unbelievable.
There's always 2 things you got to look at. Are they going to be as bad as they were?
They want a reaction, don't they?
Again,
they want a reaction.
Yeah.
They want a reaction.
Can Ipswich put 2? Be dreamland, isn't it, to win 2 games on the trot away from home, one against a team that was in the Premier League. Now, I often look at the thing, say, what's the odds going to be? I think it will be tough. I didn't realise the 2 lads in the central defence were both teenagers. That's a risk, that. And look, if you're good enough, you're old enough. But you like to think that your likes of your Chaplin, or if Ladapo was to start, would think, this could be bread and butter for us. But I still take, we were speaking before we was on air, weren't we, Reg? I was still, if you offered me a 1-1 now, I'd probably take it. 4 points on the road from 2 games. It's still promotion form, that, for me.
So what's your score?
I'm going to go 1-1. I can't see Southampton having 3 nightmare results on the trot, but who knows? Okay.
All right, Rich.
Well, I think if they lose another game 3 or 4-1 at home, like Martin said, he's going to be under massive pressure.
Yeah,
that'd be 5, 4, and 4 if it happens.
Yeah.
But look, I'm under no illusions. It'll be a really tough game. I just think on Saturday, Wednesday, we had chances and we weren't really clinical, Martin. I know it was like a bit of like some good goalkeeping. We're going to get chances in this game, I think. And it's a matter of if we're clinical and we can put these chances away, I think we can come away with a positive result. But we're going to be tested more than we were on Saturday at the other end. Because Wednesday, pretty toothless. But you're coming up against
Quality
Armstrong, Shea Adams. These guys know if you give them a sniff, the ball's probably going to end in the back of the net. So I'm going to agree with Matt. I'm not going to go 1-1. I'm going to go. It's going to be a 2-2 draw.
Ooh, 4-goal.
And I think it'll be a really good football match.
Good game, yeah.
Two teams who, and a team like Southampton, Gov, Matt, they're probably a team ideal for us to match up against.
Yeah,
because they want to play football. And you're getting in this league, apart from Saturday against Sheffield Wednesday, most of these teams will come and play football, and it's a case of who's the best team who will come out on the day. A bit like Alex Matthews said after the game on Saturday, they're a bit like cup finals, all these games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because teams come to win. We see it too much last season. Teams come to spoil, didn't they, when we were playing some of these teams? Whereas now it's a case of, are you better than us? And if you are, you're going to win the game. So I think it'll be a really good game. And like you say, Matt, if you take 4 points from 2 away games going into Blackburn at home on Saturday,
really good.
I think we'll all snap your hands off. But there is chances there that if we are clinical, we could come away with 3 points. But I'd settle for a point if you give it to me now.
I'd have said 1-0 Southampton before Martin spoke. But,
what are you going with now then?
But when things go bad, they go bad pretty quickly for managers.
Yeah, true.
Could this be that? It's like milk. It's fine one day, and the next day it's like a lump coming out of the bottle. And could this be it? Could this be it for Southampton in the sense of it's turning, it's not going well?
This is another game, Gov. And I said when I went on James's show, and it was, I know we scored on half time yesterday. First goal in this game is crucial, because you obviously see, like he was saying with the crowd, people going home after 65 minutes. Town can nick an early goal here. It's scary. And then they'll struggle. Their confidence is low. They might a few misplaced passes. Confidence is flowing out of us. One defeat in 24 games?
Yeah.
We've not had it so good probably since when? When have we? And I know it is a lower division last season, but a run like this probably back in the George Burley days.
Royal Burley.
We went like, what was it, 20 games unbeaten after Christmas or something like that.
Yeah,
we've got to. If the lessons to be learned from Saturday, then, and we are going to get these chances that Martin alludes to, from Southampton alludes to, we've really got to show to be clinical. So when the Dapo does get that chance at Sheffield Wednesday, Saturday, on Tuesday night, he needs to score that to get that crowd to turn. Ditto Hurst if he plays.
Yeah, I think he will. I think we'll look forward to that. Too many Martins. Russell Martin, me, Martin from Southampton.
Martin from Southampton.
Several times for that chat, people were saying Martin, and I was thinking, do I speak now or do I stick to be quiet? I'm not quite sure. But we're done. The match preview. The rest of the week looks like this. This man here is in charge of your match reaction show. Join him and fellow contributors and with a live link to get involved. And then Wednesday night, 8 p.m, these two gentlemen are in control of another match preview and further reaction. So they'll look at the Southampton game and then they'll preview the Blackburn game at the weekend. But for now,
5,000th game on Saturday. Did you know that, Blackburn Rovers?
Wow.
Didn't know. No. What a shame to lose your 5,000th game.
They didn't know that.
Yeah.
It was the Saturday just gone. Sorry.
Right.
It was the Saturday coming. So I was sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, fair enough. Well, they've already won it then. No problem. We can beat him and not feel bad. But there we go. That's the mogul. That's the cruncher. Thanks for watching. Thanks for Martin from Southampton. Go and check him out at Football Martin.
Thanks for Martin Lambert. And up yours, Russell Martin.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I get down low and I get blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. I woke up all soaked in sweat, weird chills running down my neck. I thought went crazy from just the thought of you.